In 2024, the world believed that artificial intelligence was an unstoppable force, a digital magic wand that would automate our roads, our offices, and our global economy. But as we moved through 2025, the hype hit a $100 billion wall of reality. We didn't get the utopia we were promised. Instead, we witnessed a series of high-profile flops that proved even the most advanced algorithms are surprisingly fragile when they meet the messiness of the real world. From hardware that literally melted under the pressure of its own ambition, to software that made life-altering decisions based on outdated biases, 2025 became the year of the AI reality check. To understand where we are going, we have to look at the 4 specific disasters that define this turning point. These aren't just technical glitches. They are warnings about what happens when we trust machines more than the humans who built them. In March 2025, the dream of effortless self-driving took a violent turn. A Tesla Model 3 operating on the latest supervised full self-driving FSD update suddenly veered off a clear road and flipped upside down. The incident happened so fast that the alert driver had 0 time to intervene. This wasn't just a single accident. It triggered a massive federal probe and a recall of 500,000 vehicles. It highlighted a terrifying truth. Level 2 AI can fail in unpredictable ways that a human simply cannot correct in time. This swerve shattered public trust and left the industry facing immense legal liability for accidents that occur even when a human is supposedly in the loop. While Tesla struggled on the asphalt, Nvidia faced a disaster in the data center. Their highly anticipated Blackwell AI chips, the supposed backbone of the next industrial revolution, hit a massive operational wall by mid-2025. Reports surfaced of critical overheating and glitching in the server racks, forcing tech giants like Microsoft and Google to delay their AI deployments until 2026. For companies spending billions on infrastructure, this wasn't just a delay, it was a cash burn of epic proportions. It proved that the AI revolution can be stopped dead in its tracks by physical hardware limitations, such as the cooling system's inability to handle the extreme heat generated by high-density AI clusters. In May 2025, the HR giant Workday hit a legal wall that could redefine the future of employment. A US district court allowed a nationwide class action lawsuit to proceed, alleging that Workday's AI resume screening tools were baking in systemic human biases. The AI was accused of automatically rejecting qualified older and minority applicants before a human ever saw their names. This represents a massive ethical debt crisis. If the courts decide that AI vendors are legally responsible for the hiring decisions made by their algorithms, the entire industry of automated HR could be dismantled overnight as companies retreat from the risk of algorithmic discrimination. By August, the focus shifted to security. Lenovo's AI customer service chatbot, Lena, became an accidental insider threat. Security researchers discovered that a simple 400-character prompt could trick Lena into leaking sensitive company data, including live session cookies. This allowed attackers to hijack active chats and bypass security logins entirely. It was a stark reminder that many companies rush to deploy helpful chatbots without basic security guardrails, turning a helpful tool into a wide-open door for hackers via prompt injection and cross-site scripting. We are currently in an era of algorithmic hubris. By 2027, conversational AI is expected to handle 70% of customer service. Yet recent 2025 data shows a dark reality. According to a 2025 MIT Media Lab report, 95% of generative AI pilots never deliver a measurable profit. Furthermore, 42% of organizations abandoned their AI initiatives in 2025 because the models couldn't scale or the data was simply too messy. In this video, we'll explore why the rush to replace humans is creating hollow corporations that are one hallucination away from total collapse. The biggest threat of replacing people with AI is something experts call the memory fade effect. It's the 80% of work that never gets written down in a manual. The unspoken rules, the undocumented shortcuts, the office politics, and the gut feelings that keep things moving. When a company replaces a veteran employee with an algorithm, it isn't just upgrading a tool, it is deleting a library. We know that losing just one mid-level manager can erase 6 months of collective know-how. AI can tell you what happened, but it has no idea why it happened, leaving the organization functionally hollow. Without human guardrails, the organization falls into a trap of repetitive errors. Because the AI doesn't remember that a specific marketing test failed 3 years ago, or why a certain product feature was scrapped, the company finds itself stuck in a loop, constantly reinventing the wheel because there is no one left with the historical memory to say, "We tried that, and here's why it failed." As we lean on AI to summarize every meeting and draft every memo, the human signal thins out. These AI summaries are efficient, but they are sterile. They filter out the hesitation in a designer's voice. New hires are left stranded, trying to learn a company culture that has been stripped of its nuance and reduced to a series of bullet points. The ultimate danger in 2026 is the learning illusion. Leaders mistake fast data processing for genuine wisdom. While AI is brilliant at identifying patterns, it cannot reflect. It cannot anticipate a sudden shift in human behavior or a complex market pivot. Those are human skills built through years of shared experience. An automated company might be fast, but it is fragile. By cutting the cord to human context, you aren't just building a more efficient business. You are creating a hollow enterprise that has forgotten how to learn. If you think you can just set and forget an AI assistant, think again. We are seeing a massive rise in rogue chatbots that are creating nightmare legal liabilities for their owners. Take the Air Canada case. In 2022, Jake Moffat needed to fly from Vancouver to Toronto for his grandmother's funeral. He did what millions of travellers do. He consulted Air Canada's website chatbot for guidance on bereavement fares. The chatbot confidently informed him he could book at full price and apply for a bereavement discount retroactively within 90 days of travel. Moffat followed the chatbot's instructions precisely. He booked his flight, attended the funeral, and submitted his bereavement fare application with supporting documentation. When Air Canada refused to honour the bot's promise, they offered a surreal defence in court. They argued the chatbot was a separate, legal entity responsible for its own actions. The court rejected this, ruling that a company is responsible for all information on its website, whether written by a human or a machine. It gets weirder. In 2024, New York City's official chatbot was caught giving dangerously inaccurate advice, effectively telling small business owners to break the law regarding cash acceptance and housing discrimination. Meanwhile, a Chevy dealership's chatbot was tricked into agreeing to sell a $75,000 SUV for just $1. A group of users used prompt engineering to trick a car dealership's GPT-powered chatbot into agreeing to the deal, with the bot even claiming it was a legally binding offer. These aren't just funny glitches, they are blind spots, where AI lacks common sense and moral judgment. If an untrained AI doesn't know the answer, it doesn't stay quiet, it makes one up. Without a human review layer, these hallucinations go straight to the customer, turning a helpful tool into a massive financial and legal liability. One of the most shocking risks of replacing human creators with AI is that you might end up owning nothing. Current legal frameworks in the US and UK are very clear. AI-generated content is generally not copyrightable. This means if a company uses an autonomous AI to design its next product or write its software code, competitors can legally copy those assets without infringing on any patents or copyrights. You are essentially pouring money into building a public domain library for your rivals. Beyond ownership, there is a growing regulatory backlash. In 2025, California introduced the No Robo-Bosses Act, which seeks to prohibit companies from relying exclusively on AI for hiring, firing, or disciplining staff. Other governments are discussing an automation tax to offset the loss of income tax revenue when humans are replaced. Companies that have already dismantled their human teams will find themselves in a regulatory ceiling, unable to meet new laws that mandate meaningful human oversight for every major business decision. So, is the answer to ban AI? Not at all. The future isn't about humans versus machines. It's about humans enhanced by machines. The most successful companies in 2025 are those moving toward augmented decision-making. In this model, the AI acts like a super smart analyst that crunches data and flags patterns, but the human acts as the conductor who adds context, ethics, and gut feeling. AI can crunch numbers, but it cannot read the room. It lacks the emotional intelligence to sense when a client is unhappy or when a marketing campaign is culturally tone-deaf. For example, in the UAE, Offering a discount as an apology can backfire because it reads as charity rather than respect, a nuance an algorithm would likely miss. The goal is synergy, not substitution. As the World Economic Forum emphasizes, the companies that survive will be those that treat human capital as their primary competitive advantage, using AI as a memory layer to amplify the wisdom and intuition of their people rather than trying to replace it. Imagine a company as a high-performance jet. The AI is a brilliant autopilot that can calculate the most efficient route at incredible speeds. However, the pilot, the human, is the only one who can see the storm clouds on the horizon that aren't on the map. If you remove the pilot to save on weight, you might fly faster, but you'll eventually crash into the first thing the autopilot wasn't programmed to see. The 2025 flops proved that AI isn't a magic wand. It's a tool that still needs a pilot. But what does the pilot look like in 2026? Subscribe now to join us for the next episode, where we'll dive into the technical fixes and the massive industry shifts that are trying to prevent these failures from happening again. Don't let the next update catch you off guard.